back to another episode of We Are the Batman. I'm Mike.
And this is Matthew.
All right, we are doing something we haven't done in a bit. We're doing a comic book review today. We haven't done one of these. I think the last one we did was it Mr. Miracle?
I think it was Mr. Miracle, yes.
That was a while ago. So we're gonna be talking Tom Taylor's Nightwing run today, which is gonna be, we're talking about Matthew's favorite boy in the world. And that's Dick Grayson. We are serving up some Dick today, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make so many jokes. This episode is going to have so many jokes in it. It's and I apologize for none of it. Yeah. Before we get into that, first of all, Matthew, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just kind of hanging out, enjoying life, and waiting for the summer to be over so I can be chill.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the heat already, and it never takes long for me. I'm also over the haze we've got going on. I'm up here in Ohio. We've been under a air quality warning since over last weekend because of the fires going on in California. It's all drifting down. Man. So there's just a haze in the air all day, every day. You can see it. It's not fun. So let's knock that off. A friend of mine in Canada, I was texting her yesterday. I was like, I don't know why, but even though she lives on the other side of Canada where there are no fires, and I said, I don't know why, but I can't help but feel like this is your fault somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, life's good. Just did a whole bunch of comedy on the road and was traveling to see family. So it's good to be back. You know, like we said last week, like doing an episode like proper, not having to can a bunch of episodes.
It's always nice. It's always nice to kind of.
It's nice to be up to date once in a while. We're gonna do, because we mentioned on last week's show, James Gunn is scaling back some of the Twitter stuff, which means our gun show segment is going to be not as regular as we would like, which sucks, but I also get it.
Yeah.
But to keep things fun, we're introducing a new segment. It's just simply called What Are We Watching? We're just going to talk about stuff that we've been watching. It might be Batman DC related. It might not be. It just kind of depends on what's going on in our respective lives. But I also think it's kind of a no-brainer what we both have watched in the last week, because Across the Spider-Verse came out.
Yes,
I saw it last night at the time that we're recording this. Man, this movie rules.
Oh, man. It was like, I think the big thing I've said is, do we want to are we trying to avoid spoilers?
Let's not spoil it.
Okay.
Because you know where I'm at with spoilers right now.
Yes.
I'm like seeing red because of all this. There was stuff that like I knew I was going to see Spider-Verse last night, and like 2 hours before my screening, I had something get spoiled for me on Facebook that the costume designer was posting on
yes.
And with to which the movie wasn't even out a week. Go F yourself. So yeah. I don't want to spoil things for a movie that hasn't even been out a week yet, that's on a non-Marvel show.
Okay. Well, then I will say this. The thing I enjoy with some of these films is when they get intelligent, when they do something different. You know, You think about Across the Spider-Verse, across any multiverse, we've seen Doctor Strange kind of do that. You know, it was part of the this first animated Spider-Man movie. You know, we're seeing the Loki thing, and we're seeing this kind of become more common, and even, you know, time travel, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. So I always like when it's different. So there's something like, it's very interesting because it's kind of related to comics and how comics are a certain thing. And I like how they're playing with that. And even though I think I figured out the out that will be in the sequel, I just think that it's really cool because it is kind of surprising because you don't. It's a little different what the ultimate kind of thing is, which I like. But aside from that, the animation is incredible.
I don't think I've seen animation like this. Animation is next level. Like this tops the first Spider-Verse movie, and that was groundbreaking in its own way. The things they did with animation in this movie to convey tone, like there's a scene towards the end involving Spider-Gwen that, on top of being just a very emotional scene, what they do with the animation I was sitting in the theater just like my jaw was hanging open. I was like, this is incredible.
The
This is
Yeah,
so I was blown away.
the upside down conversation was the part that I was like,
Uh
this is ridiculous.
the amount of detail they went into, like showing what a person would look like hanging upside down. And this is
Yeah,
in the trailer, so don't get mad at us.
yeah.
Is it's it's wild, man. Here's what I'll say. I I'm usually kind of on the fence when it comes to needle drops in movies and TV. You know, when you start incorporating popular music into these things, it's to me it's got to be like when you look at Guardians 3, the songs are on brand, they're tonally matching. That's great. As opposed to like Willow, where they would just drop a pop song right before the credits in every episode, and it was jarring and weird, and I was not into it. I liked the show, I was not into that. The first Spider-Verse movie did a lot of needle drops, but they worked tonally. They were on brand with what was happening in the movie. This one didn't do them as much. This one relied mostly on the score, like
Yeah,
and the score for this movie is nuts. It is so good. The music for this movie is so very good.
yeah. I can't recommend this movie enough. There is nothing that I can sit here and go, this was bad. Act performances were on par. Well, I
The
mean,
o-
were fantastic.
the only
The,
criticism I have, and it's one that a lot of people have had, and is that the sound mixing was a little off in the beginning. Some folks have said that like it's an issue with certain theaters not having their settings set up right. To me, that's far too many different people having the same complaint for it to be a theater issue. So for like the first 30 minutes, the audio was a little off, and then it was fine the rest of the movie.
I didn't experience that.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but it was because it was one of those I had heard about this and I went into it and I was like, I mean, I got a pretty good ear. I got a producer's ear. So let me and I was sitting there like, no, there is genuinely like something is off. Something is not right because then the rest of the movie, everything was balanced perfectly.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I get what people were saying because I noticed it too. But again, I only noticed it for part of the movie in those first 30 minutes, which is what everyone's been talking about. So I don't know what that's about. Um,
I think I'm lucky. The theater that I go to here in where I live is was renovated within the last like right before COVID. They've renovated it about 10 years ago and then like gutted every theater and redid everything.
oh wow.
So it's fresh as all get out. It's one of these like, all the seats recline. Each seat has a
Oh, those are the
tray that
best.
opens in and out. All the
Yeah,
audio
yeah,
is great. Like they're none of them are like it's never none of the screens are super big, but
right.
when the theater's that small, it doesn't matter. And it's also cool because if you go to any showing before noon on Saturday or Sunday, the tickets are 550,
Oh, I
and
wish.
all day on Tuesday.
We Tuesdays are cheap day for us too.
Yeah,
I'm a movie club member, so I just burn my freebies and I
yeah.
get discounts. I get cheap tickets anyway for doing that.
Well, and it also helps when you're buying 4 to 6 tickets that it's only five
Oh yeah, no,
fifty.
it's just for me. I'm going alone, so I don't have to worry about that. There are times if I have stack because my freebies all roll over. If I have a
Yeah,
bunch stacked up, I'll buy two next to each other. That way, I don't have to share a seat with
yeah,
anybody.
yeah. I think there was one time like
I can sprawl out and just be like, ah,
yeah.
yeah,
There's been times I've wanted to buy like go to see a thing because it's been assigned seating here in Texas for the past 15 years. I don't understand why that hasn't been a
yeah.
thing forever.
It was one of those. I remember when I first moved to Ohio in 2015, I was hearing about that rolling out in certain parts of the country, and then they started doing it at the theater here, where it was they put in the leather recliners and it was assigned seating, and all I could think was, yeah, no, I can't go back to regular because they hadn't done it in all the theaters yet. And then I went to a
Mm.
regular theater that hadn't done the updates yet, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't as good. No, I need the recliners. I need this is chaos. My life has been chaos up till this point, and I
Well,
didn't realize it.
and it to me it's just so chill. Like we ended up it was like a 5:30 showing, and
Yeah.
we were like it was like 5 o'clock, and we're heading there. We're like we need to eat, and it was
Mhm.
like there's a Chipotle in the parking lot of the theater.
Boom.
And I'm like,
Yeah, gross.
we
Wait,
could,
Chipotle gross. Yeah,
huh?
Chipotle's gross.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm from the land where Moe's exists, and Moe's is superior to Chipotle in every way possible.
I don't know what Moses. There's another similar Chipotle in this area, but
Yeah.
the meat's funky.
Here's the thing: Chipotle had like 4 E. coli scares in the span of a couple of years. I'm good.
I'm nearly 50. My stomach can handle it.
It's true. But yeah, so Across the Spider-Verse rules. If you haven't seen it yet, go see this. This movie is it's
Amazing.
so good. It's fantastic.
Oh, wait,
Got a little
real quick.
yeah.
I did also see Little Mermaid.
Oh, did
And
you?
like that, we went and saw it Tuesday night. And I will say this, like, I'm not a fan of the cartoon. I've tried watching it several times.
Oh,
I've
really?
never
Oh,
been able to stay awake the entire time.
hmm,
I like the movie. They fleshed out
yeah.
so much more. Like, I don't like, I mean,
I
I've
know
only seen that
I know the
first half
story of
of
The
it.
Little Mermaid. There's nothing you're gonna tell me that's a
No, no, no.
spoiler that you
Yeah,
don't
I
already
know.
know.
I'm just trying to say, like they actually, because they flesh Eric out, he's not
Mhm.
just like this weird thing she lusts
Oh,
for.
right.
You're like, oh, look at that. That's why they actually fall for each other.
Well,
And then,
when you're sticking another 30 minutes onto an already 90-minute movie, you better.
yeah, yeah. So that was a lot better. There was some other, like, I don't know the animated film completely, but it was
Mhm.
like stuff like that that was really cool.
Okay.
Chick was really, really good. You don't think about it, but it's like in an actual live action movie,
Mhm.
and because of the added time, like she spends a good 40% of the film not being able to talk.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you've got to be able to convey.
And when she does have a voice, she spends most of it singing.
Yeah,
So you and from everything I've heard, Halle Bailey crushes it as Ariel. Look, I'll see it when it's on Disney Plus. Like I am on the record of not being a fan of the live action remakes Disney has done, and I'm these are mostly made for kids and families.
yeah,
I'm a single 35-year-old dude. I'll I'll watch it when it's on streaming.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. There's enough. Look, we're going into a busy summer for movies. There's enough other stuff. Like I'm getting dragged to see Transformers this weekend, which I'm not looking forward
It's gonna
to.
be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Sure. But Flash is next week. Blue Beetle's right around the corner. Like
Yeah.
there's enough stuff. Secret Invasion's about to start on Disney Plus. There's enough stuff for me to watch that I can wait on a few things.
Well, and the coolest thing was is the oldest in the house had already seen it, so I didn't have to pay for her. My son is at
Cool.
camp; he had no interest in seeing it.
Nope.
And Tuesday, 5:50, so
Yeah.
under $20, all three of us got to the theater.
Yeah. It's just
So
you, the wife, and the little one, right?
yeah,
So
so it was just like I'll spend.
and she's 5, so she's going to be into it no matter what.
Oh, the number of times like you cannot full out sing the songs in the theater with the people.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when they cut "Be Prepared" out of The Lion King, I was like, no, no, this is not okay. This is not okay. How
I've
dare you?
yeah, I've
How
never
dare you?
seen the live action
Don't,
Lion King. I had no
don't,
interest.
don't.
Yeah,
No one should. It's not as bad as the Beauty and the Beast remake. It's still pretty bad.
yes.
Anyway, that's a whole other
So anyway,
podcast.
if you're into
Um,
Little Mermaid, you have kids. Little Mermaid's another thing.
go
Like
nuts.
it
Yeah,
was, I actually enjoyed it. Don't
cool.
know why. What's his name? What is the dude who plays Poseidon, who was in No Country for Old Men?
Oh, Javier Bardem.
Yeah, I don't understand why he gets work, but he
Oh, I
was
love
fine.
Javier Bardem.
I don't know. I
Anyway,
just don't. Yeah.
he's my pick for Mr. Freeze. Anyway, I'm not kidding. We got two pieces of news.
Yes.
So first and foremost, the Batman production on the Batman has been delayed because no shit.
Yeah.
Because I loved how all the whether it was Hollywood Reporter, Variety, the Wrap, everyone was like, the Batman production has currently been delayed, but we have not had any confirmation as to why. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Matt Reeves and his writer down protesting with the WGA wasn't a really? You're not sure.
Yeah.
You're not sure? Okay.
And it's only the Batman and Thunderbolts from
Yeah,
Marvel that are being delayed by this. Nothing else
correct.
is affected.
Well, because so many other things were already like in
Production.
some variation of production. Still no confirmation on what's going on with Deadpool 3, but the Batman has been delayed production wise, which no shit. And honestly, and I know that SAG-AFTRA is in the middle of. I know the Directors Guild was able to reach a agreement with their contract reps, and I know SAG is currently
No,
voting.
last I saw, SAG voted yes.
SAG voted yes to put a strike on the table, is what it is.
Yeah.
It
So,
wasn't they were voting to go
oh,
ahead
yes, okay.
strike. It was they were voting to say basically, okay, we all agree if they won't give us what we want, we're going to strike. We're not going to
Yeah.
renegotiate after this. They either pony up or we're going on strike.
Which, when that happens, I feel like all of this is going to get fast tracked because
1000%. Because if this continues on much longer, we're going to start hearing things about like Superman. Uh, well, actually, again, I don't know because it's James Gunn, so I don't know how that's going to work.
well,
James Gunn is an anomaly in all this because he's a studio head, but he's also writing and directing the movie.
well,
So
again,
it's
like all that
dicey,
means is they can't do work. It doesn't mean that like you can't get an actor to do work, which only affect him if it
right?
continues through January.
Right.
Like I don't like I would assume that they'll still be able to go hit the gym.
Well, not only that, it just means they have to work off the version of the script they have right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've talked about this
Yes.
ad nauseum, so we won't go into it again. The only other real piece of news is also no updates yet on the Penguin. I don't know if that's done and just waiting to be released. Um, we had that little preview that came out earlier this year that said that the show is premiering in
Yeah.
next spring, I believe. I'm assuming it's done though. Like at this point, it's just in post. It's
Or
got
it's so far into what they're doing. I don't
that.
know if you stop filming
Well, the reason I
that
bring
late
it
in
up
the
is
game.
because Matt Reeves was show running, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
honestly, I have a feeling it's probably at this point it's all just in post at this point.
I'd imagine.
So, but other than that, the only other piece of news we have is that early Flash reviews are coming out. Now, these are not the like film festival private screening unfinished movie kind of buzzword reviews that we've been commenting on for a while, which have all been overwhelmingly positive. These are you know the movie comes out in a week. Here's the early press screenings
Yeah,
reviews. These are the ones who are like going to see it in an AMC. There's a screening happening not far from here that I've been trying to get in on, and I have not heard back at this point. I don't think it's going to happen, but because who the fuck am I?
yeah.
But
We're not there yet.
we're not there yet. The early reviews are abundantly positive, though. There's a YouTube critic named Chris Stuckman who I'm a huge fan of. I think he gives some of the most balanced and um, just well thought out critiques of movies of most people, and is an Ohio boy too. And he sang this movie's praises. People are not just like people are saying that like Ezra Miller as the Flash is truly something to behold. But also what people are saying about Sasha Kaye as Supergirl and Michael Keaton as Batman. They're saying they all just absolutely crush. Koi Jandrew over at Real Rejects said that like he had little to no interest in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie until now, and now he can't wait to see her continue on as Supergirl.
That didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah, I know.
It could
Me
just
neither.
it could be her. Holy
It
crap.
could be. I don't know why it never crossed my mind, but as soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, they are doing that, aren't they?" And from what I understand, she crushes it in this movie.
And he didn't
So
say, James Gunn never said that they were recasting or casting. So that's possible she's the
yeah.
one.
Again, we'll know more after the movie comes out, I'm sure. I had something else. I had another spoiler get from the same. I was at the bank in line, and the radio was on in the bank, and something else got spoiled. And I'm like, can we not? Can we not? Please, God, I'm starting to get really irritated because this. Like, I usually don't get this mad about spoilers, but it's been happening so much and so carelessly. It's just pissing me off now. Um, which speaking of spoilers, they have said they are only doing one premiere of the Flash
Yeah.
to help minimize, because usually when a movie has premieres, it has like, because like Guardians had like 7 premieres. in different big cities around the country. They said they're doing one for the Flash to minimize the risk of big spoilers, particularly for the ending. The ending is the thing. The thing they're saying is like we have a very like we are so top secret on this ending. We don't want it to get out before it's too soon. So
So it'll get
um,
out Thursday, not
so
Wednesday.
it's gonna get spoiled next Friday at about 2 p.m. because I'm going to see the movie next Friday after work. So a few hours before my screening is when it's going to get spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Because that seems to just be the world I live in now. And I'm kind of over it, honestly. I'm usually not like an opening day guy, but I'm like, I at this point, I might as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, my, my,
so,
my
and
wife's birthday is Saturday the 17th. So for her
okay.
birthday, we're doing lunch and a movie.
See,
So
next I'm so busy next weekend because I'm going to see this, and then some friends of mine are in a play that I got to go see. I almost double booked it. I actually have a really busy weekend next weekend, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I have this movie like on the calendar, so because yeah, and we will be doing a review of The Flash. It will come out 1 week, the week after. So the movie comes out next Friday, the 16th. We will put our review up the following Friday.
now that I
You're
think
giving me
about
a
it,
look.
I may go
Or you're
see it.
giving me a look.
I'm just going, I may go. It just dawned on me like, oh no, never mind. She's doing camp. I was like, wait, my wife's off on Fridays. We can go do it today. I was like, wait,
No.
nope. Because I'm the same as you. As when it comes to some of these bigger films, if I care, I'm like, I have to see it that weekend
Yeah.
because the Force Awakens got ruined for me
Mhm.
the Wednesday night before we were going to go see it on Thursday,
Yeah.
like 11 o'clock at night. I was done. Like you do that last check of Twitter and Facebook before you go to bed, and somebody like put a picture of like the three spoilers for Force Awakens
Oh, no.
in the shortest sentences possible. So, I mean, I don't think I'm spoiling anything for a nearly 10-year-old movie, but it was just basically
Right.
like Kylo is laying Han's son, Han dies, Luke's in it for 2 seconds. Like that was what
Yeah.
it was. And it was like, you don't have to take a moment. Like that just,
Yeah.
and it
You can
was
read
just,
that by accident.
and I was like,
Which
son of a,
and someone telling me that Han Solo dies wouldn't have made me too mad because it's like Han Solo's gonna die. Like this, Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die in Empire Strikes Back.
yeah.
Like so, but like the other stuff is kind of like God, mother of God. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so that's what we're looking for news wise in the next coming weeks. That being said, man, let's get into Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing. All right, so Nightwing, the run written by Tom Taylor. We mentioned him a little bit ago, Coy Jandreau over at Real Rejects. I was watching some video he was in on their channel, and he mentioned that this run was by Tom Taylor, which I know Tom Taylor from writing the Injustice comics, which are if you haven't read like the 5 year Injustice prequel comics, do yourself a favor. It's some of the best writing DC's done in a long time. So I was like, oh well, I haven't read Nightwing comics in years because I for no particular reason, and if Tom Taylor's doing it, this can only mean good things. So I picked up volumes 1 through 3 on Amazon and blew through them. Matt, this is some of the best writing I think I've ever seen in a DC comic. This is excellent stuff, man.
Yes. See, I'm going to go a little extension here is that even when I say I'm not reading comics, usually Nightwing is still being read by me. Like Nightwing is
Sure.
one of those things I'm always reading. I very rarely stop reading it. Or if I do, it's only for little increments. Um, and this is the first time in a long time I've really been excited about what they're doing. You know, like the rebirths, the new 52 stuff was terrible. Like I
Oh,
did not like the new 52 stuff.
for Nightwing or for everything?
I mean, we'll say both.
Aw,
No, I tell
I
you,
liked New
mainly for
52.
Nightwing. I thought the new 52 stuff for Green Lantern was great. Aquaman was great. Some of the Batman stuff was cool. The rest of it was kind of a mixed bag. My most excited thing about New 52 was when they were bringing the Wildstorm characters in, and within 6 months, they got rid of all of them.
They also that's also when they folded Constantine into DC proper, took it out of Vertigo.
Yeah.
The New 52 Constantine stuff was really good.
Yeah. So
Find me a bad Constantine comic though. I mean,
yeah, fair. But no, so the stuff they did with Nightwing, the biggest problem I had, and I think we've talked about before, is like I've always liked Nightwing being not part of the Bat family and as far away from Gotham as possible. And New 52 like solidly placed him in the middle of the Bat family.
he was just Robin 2.0, basically.
Yeah, he was basically, leader Robin. And I was like, but then the Grayson thing happens, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the Grayson Agent 37, the whole thing, but
Mhm.
then they retcon that or get rid of it pretty quickly when Rebirth happens, and he instantly goes back to being Nightwing.
It also wasn't
Um,
selling well because it's hard to. I imagine it's hard to sell longtime comic book fans on a Dick Grayson comic not about Nightwing.
I think there was a way to meld it, which I think they should have eventually done, but who knows where they're going.
Yeah.
But then, like the Rebirth thing, the problem I had with all the Rebirth stuff is they just made him Batman light, and I
Yeah.
hate when they do that with Nightwing. And then they did that horrible amnesia story, which was the dumbest crap of all time.
I didn't even read that.
Oh, it's
I heard it was
he,
frustrating. I didn't read it.
well, he basically gets brain panned
Mm.
from a distance by KG Beast, and because he gets shot in the head,
Why is it always KG Beast?
I have no clue. He gets amnesia, and I think, in my opinion, the whole thing is they wanted to figure out a way to stop calling him Dick Grayson because he comes out of amnesia, decides he doesn't remember anything, wants to live his own life, becomes like a barfly, and decides his name's Rick. His name's Rick Grayson, shaves his head, and then for like 6 issues, doesn't do any crime fighting. And
Mm.
is like tells Barbara to go F herself, tells Batman to go F himself, doesn't have any memory, lights the Nightwing layer on fire, and then these cops find the remnants of this fire and they become like Team Nightwing. So each one of these cops, these 4 cops, a girl and 3 guys, are wearing different versions of his suit.
It gives me such Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns. We are the sons of Batman.
Yeah.
Vibes.
And then, like, through their ineptitude, Rick Grayson starts helping them. And then eventually dons like a brand new suit that just looks like he's like the 5th member of Kiss. And then is
This is
just
much better than that. I'll tell you
yeah.
that right
All
now.
right. So what I've told you so far is
Yeah,
12 issues of story.
that is insane. That's an insane thing. That is insane.
And then like part of me was like, okay, this is something where you can really do something cool here if you do this. Because he has all the muscle memory but no memories. And then like he gets a new girlfriend, he gets a new life, he's got this new suit. And then the Court of Owls find him, brainwash him into becoming a Talon, and Batman saves him from being a Talon, and then just like that, he remembers everything again.
That is such a mess.
And then
What a
within
messy story.
within a single issue, he's back to being Nightwing and becoming the Guardian of Bloodhaven, and everything is a wash.
That's
It,
that's just messy. That's messy.
it's it's the most horrible waste of time. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. It was 18 issues of a story arc, maybe
That's a
20.
waste.
And it was like ridiculous. So I was about to stop reading this book because I was so tired
Yeah.
of how horribly done. I was tweeting at the writers and DC, what are you guys doing? This is stupid. Tom Taylor comes in and turns this book around.
Ooh, buddy.
And
Ooh.
it is just insane how good this book is and how much I've enjoyed it. The cameos, the different characters that have showed up. Heartless is a great villain for Nightwing.
Heartless is scary.
Yeah.
Also, you know what this comic gave me that I didn't know I needed, and now that I have it, I can't live without it. Nightwing having a puppy.
Oh, I thought you were
Bitewing,
gonna, I thought you were saying Nightbite because that was cracking me up. Did
or
you get
what
that
is
far?
it, Nightbite or Bitewing
It's
or whatever.
Bitewing is the
Bitewing.
puppy.
Yeah, Bitewing. Dick Grayson having a puppy is just kind of the best, especially because everyone adopts it as our puppy. Like everyone, when he's people are trying to assassinate Dick Grayson and the
Mm.
Titans are getting in, and he's like, why are you guys here? Well, we had a conversation with the dog, and she thought it was a pretty good idea. I was like, yeah, no, that's 1,000% what would happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
Beast Boy would turn to a dog, talk to her, come back, and like, all right, this is what we have to do.
yeah, yeah, no, it's man, what a character study in Dick Grayson this run is, and it's really what it boils down to. It is just so much great action. So I love in volume 2 where for like an entire issue, every page is like this montage of Dick traveling
Yeah.
and tracking these guys. It's so the art on there is fantastic. I don't have who the artist is in front of me. Um, it you can probably pull that up while I'm talking here.
Yeah. Do it.
It's it truly is a character study in Dick Grayson. You know, we spend so much time with him because this is Alfred Pennyworth has passed away. He leaves Dick Grayson a insane amount of money. I don't remember if we get the actual dollar amount.
Bruno Redondo is the artist.
Bruno Redondo, very good. The art in this is great. My hardbacks that I have like some of the variant covers in there between sections where it's like breaking down the specifics of like what all of the stuff in his costume does, and it's very cool. But it really is a character study into Dick's relationship with Alfred, his
Yes.
relationship with the rest of the Bat family, um, his relationship with other heroes in DC, the Titans and the Justice League. Um, right. I haven't read a lot of the current, the most recent runs of Superman with John Kent, Clark's son. But what I have read has been spectacular, and what I've heard about the rest of it is that it's fantastic. I love the relationship between John Kent and Dick Grayson
Yeah.
in this, and that he's kind of a mentor to John Kent, who is filling in as Superman.
And do you understand why somehow Dick Grayson is Nightwing as a mentor and still Nightwing as John Kent as a pseudo adult?
Yeah.
Okay, because he leaves and comes back.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I totally get it. I
because
love
I
the
had that moment of like, wait a minute, and I was like, oh, that's right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I love that it's this relationship of the sons of the world's finest, together.
Yes.
It's I just like I said, this entire run is a character study. Everyone that's on a page in this is there's a character study taking place, and I love because you a lot of times when we see Nightwing, it's just Nightwing and Bloodhaven. There's not a lot of interaction with the rest of DC at large. And to see the role that Dick Grayson plays in DC at large, not just from his perspective, but getting to learn more about how the rest of DC views Nightwing,
Yeah.
how the respect that the rest of the Justice League has for Nightwing, the respect that Clark Kent has for Nightwing, or that Mr. Terrific has for Nightwing. Like Dick Grayson really and truly is kind of the glue holding the DC universe together. And DC has even said, at the end of last year, we talked about how some of the plans DC had for the comics going forward in 2023 and 2024. And one of the things they put a stamp on was that Nightwing is going to be like this figurehead poster boy for DC at large. How
Yeah.
they're making him kind of the point on all this, and if they're doing stuff like what's in this Tom Taylor run, I am 1,000% on board with that.
Well, and that is something that's been really cool with Rebirth. Is as Rebirth has gone forward, you get a lot of Batman saying like, you're going to be the one that's going to lead these heroes. You're going to be the beacon as time goes on, as you become an adult. You're going to be the best of us, and I
Yeah,
think that's definitely apparent in this Tom Taylor run of seeing him being not just a great crime fighter, but a great human being, and him trying to do the thing that you would think other rich superheroes would do with their city. I was like, maybe I
yeah,
should invest money in the town instead of just
yeah.
beating the crap out of criminals.
That's one of my favorite criticisms about Batman is like, why doesn't Bruce Wayne just donate a ton of money to the city? And it's like, I mean, he does. It's just
Yeah.
Gotham is just the worst. But Gotham's the worst. It so I love how like I mentioned it, like even though we're at a point where Alfred is gone, he's still an influence. And
Yeah,
kind of to your point too about what about Batman kind of setting Nightwing up in this way. If you kind of look at it, during the time that Dick Grayson was Robin, it was Batman teaching him to be a hero.
yeah,
Now that he's Nightwing, it's almost like Batman's teaching him how to be a leader because that's what Nightwing to be the leader that Batman could be. Batman could never be a leading beacon for the Justice League or all these other teams, but he knows that Nightwing can because the Nightwing has all the best qualities of Batman as well as the best qualities of a human being that Batman doesn't have. The
yeah,
things that Batman is missing to make him, even though he's my favorite, he's not the perfect hero. He's missing certain qualities that I think Dick Grayson has, and he knows that, so that's why he can recognize that Dick Grayson can be the leader that Batman maybe never could be. Not that I think he ever wanted to be, but
yeah.
he Batman recognizes that there needs to be that figure. And for the longest time it was Superman, but even Clark Kent's time is going to come and pass eventually, and I think he knows that if anybody has it in them to be that to fill that role, it's Dick Grayson.
Yeah, and yeah, Dick. This is prime why I love Nightwing. Seeing him become not Batman. As much as I've enjoyed some of the stories where he is Batman, he's done it like I think 3 times up to this point.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like now your Nightwing is his own kind of hero. Dick Grayson is his own kind of person, and you're seeing. I mean, like you said, like have you got to the point where the Flash shows up, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love that the Flash shows up, helps him, and he's like, "Hey, so when's the last time you slept?" And he's like, "Oh, no, no," and he's like, "Oh, that's cute," and then it's like, "Boom, you're
Yeah.
in my house now. You're
Yeah.
gonna go to sleep.
Mhm.
You're gonna be fine."
I'll go get the dog. Take a
Yeah,
nap. I
and they
love
just
I love when him and Mr. Terrific are like, he's like, "Are you wearing a bulletproof vest under your suit?" "Yes." "Are you wearing your suit under your suit?" "No." "Yeah, we're gonna go fix that right now." And they give him this new suit, this new Nightwing suit, and there's this funny little chibi drawing of the flat of Wally giving Dick a bunch of shit, saying,
yeah,
"Plus, let's be honest, your face is far too handsome for anybody to ever want to damage it." And I'm like, that is again, as we've said many times, Dick Grayson has a superpower. It's that he's so goddamn sexy.
yeah. He's got that face. He's got them cakes.
Yes, he does. He's the most he is superhuman attractiveness. That's his superpower.
Yeah,
Um, so I love that that's even a running joke in DC that like even everybody knows like, yeah, no, he's too pretty.
yeah.
He is so pretty, it's kind of offensive.
Well, and this is where, like, look, there's been I read comics here and there, and Nightwing was troubling for the longest time. It was just it just wasn't as fun as it could be. This has been great. I can't recommend this Tom Taylor run of Nightwing more. The art is fantastic.
Yeah.
Even Batgirl's new suit is amazing.
I
You
like
know,
that people give that suit a hard time. I like that Batgirl suit.
no, it does. It's kind of like it because like the Burnside thing was a cute young. I'm
Mhm.
a young 20 something kind of motorcycle looking outfit. And
Yeah.
then that weird one that she had for a while, I was like, I don't know what that one,
Mhm.
but this one is just, I think it's that Batgirl is Nightwing's partner.
Yeah.
They're both
I love
ninjas.
the role she plays in this. Like at no point does it feel like because sometimes I think when the writers are writing Oracle, they don't know how to write her well. She's either there to just be a quippy voice in their ear, or she's there to be the fix all for everything. It's like from one end,
Yeah.
there's a happy middle there's a happy medium in the middle where she's effective, but not so effective that it takes away from the hero, but also not so useless that she just comes across as comic relief, where
Yeah.
and she's there again because this is such a character study. The supporting role she plays as Barbara to Dick Grayson and as Oracle slash Batgirl to Nightwing is is fantastic. She's the girl in the chair who's also able to hold her own, in that, like I was talking about in volume 2, where Dick Grayson's being chased by assassins. She joins in on that fight because she's like, yeah, no, this is too big. I'm not staying in the chair. I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
It's a Nightwing comic. The rest of DC plays a part in this, but it never, at no point is the focus taken away from Dick Grayson Nightwing. He is still the focal point, even though there's a lot of support from the rest of the DC universe in this. It's all in service of the story that, like, Dick Grayson is the hero
Yeah.
we need and deserve.
And I never knew I needed a Nightmite, but
Yeah, me neither.
Nightmite cracked me up.
I mean, Batmite is like one of my least favorite things that was ever created. It's I don't care. Nightmite is one of those, I'm like, damn it, I hate how much I like this.
Well, and it was also like because they ended that previous issue with it's Rick Grayson get in the car, and I just rolled my eyes. I was like, "What crap is this?"
Yeah.
Because I hated that whole thing so much. But to
Rick
have
Rick Grayson sounds like a hard-boiled black and white private dick from the 1950s. Like
it's
he should be
it's just
wearing a trench coat and working out of a dingy office and narrating his own life. Like, that's what Rick Grayson sounds like.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna send you some pictures of his costumes as
Oh
this
god.
version, and just so you
I'm
can
afraid to look
just
at this.
marvel at the ridiculousness of it.
Also, didn't know I didn't know I'd enjoy, because Blockbuster's kind of the, he's the big bad of this story. I didn't know I'd be as into a Blockbuster villain story as I was with this one, because Blockbuster's kind of he's at times is written as kind of just not Black Mask.
Yeah,
It feels like discount black. It feels like, I mean, he's very clearly an adjacent to Tombstone from Marvel. I mean, that is abundantly clear. And at times he just kind of feels like, the great value version of Tombstone and Black Mask rolled into one. Um, they made him scary. Tom Taylor did a great job of making him scary in that. I was like, he's frightening.
see, and I always liked him back in the first Nightwing solo series when Scott McDaniel was drawing him, and when all
Right.
that was happening, he was very menacing then because the big thing with most of like Batman and Nightwing's villains is they are not superpowered.
No.
I think Killer Croc is maybe the quote unquote strongest villain in the Rogues Gallery, but this guy is just overpowering. And I really liked how they've changed him and kind of given him that more menace because I can't remember what the storyline was, but he's one of those guys that he used to just be kind of like a dumb brute.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember, it was like one of the devils or some kind of like upgraded a bunch of the villains, and his upgrade was that he became super intelligent.
Mm,
So I love that he's kind of been this like pseudo Lex Luthor physical violent
yeah.
nemesis to Nightwing for decades. And then, we'll see if he recovers from what happened to
I don't know. We'll see.
him.
I feel like DC, because Wilson Fisk in Marvel is such an imposing villain, both physically and just from a character standpoint. And I feel like DC has always tried to find their version of Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And I think no one DC character has ever quite nailed it. But I think if you were to make an amalgam of several DC characters, you would probably get there. And I feel like a Blockbuster, especially this take on Blockbuster, would be a big part of it. I think this version of Blockbuster is the closest DC has gotten to having that Wilson Fisk adjacent
Yeah.
type character. I think you would need to do some kind of weird amalgam of like Blockbuster and Lex Luthor and Black Mask to really get what they're going for with Wilson Fisk. But if anything got the closest, it's definitely this take on Blockbuster. I was getting mad. I was in the back of my mind going like, maybe Vincent D'Onofrio could play this guy too.
Yeah. No, I think the inherent issue there is that what makes Wilson Fisk so awesome
Mhm.
is that all the Marvel comics take place in the same city.
It's
So
very true.
Wilson
Everything's in
Fisk,
New York.
yeah. So Wilson Fisk goes against Spider-Man, Punisher,
Yeah,
Daredevil, the
everybody.
heroes for hire. So on with DC, every hero has their own city. So you're never gonna see Wilson Fisk talk to anybody else but Nightwing, unless Superman decides to visit, and then you
Yeah.
see him.
That's why like having John Kent be a part of this Nightwing run means like, oh cool, we get to watch Nightwing take on Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Didn't know I needed that in my life. All right, cool. Um,
Here, I'm sending you the horrible costumes that he had.
oh, that is atrocious.
That
That
was
is that
that
is
was yeah.
oof.
T-shirt and jeans with a rope, and then he go
And he had
upgrades
a
to this. This is his Kiss outfit.
oh, that wasn't the Kiss outfit? Oh,
No,
that's bad. Oh, that is very bad. Oh,
and then
that's I don't like that at all.
he
And
upgrades
he's
to
spelling
this.
Rick R-I-C without the K. That's just pretentious.
Yes, and then this is his final form, and it's just even like I just like one of those. How can we make it worse? This is much worse.
It's also like that is very, you know what that looks like to me is that looks like and you haven't watched it, but this character from The Boys this past season, it just looked ridiculous. And that is also a terrible Batgirl suit, I should point out. That
Yeah, that's the one I don't like.
yeah, that Batgirl design that's awful. That's just bad. I feel personally attacked by those images. Uh, I'm a big fan of this purple with the black and yellow cape thing that
Yes.
they've done with Batgirl the last like 5 years. I'm a big fan of that, which is apparently what we were supposed to be getting in the movie that never going to get released, which is a bummer because it would have been a cool suit to see translate to live action. I man, so I cannot thank Koi Jandreau enough for mentioning this run in passing in a Real Rejects video because I even tweeted at him like I was like, just pick these up today, and he was like, please let me know what you think. And like I was like, dude, this is
It's
this
amazing.
is this is the kind of stuff that makes me like because it's 2023. Every once in a while you have that fleeting moment of like, man, are comics still good? Are they still good? When you have to defend being a comic book fan to people sometimes, and it's stuff like this that makes me go, this is why I read comics. Stuff like this, storytelling and character work like this is why I read comics in the
Yeah.
first place. This is good stuff. This is good ass, man.
And I'm also glad like this is where I get into it's nice to see Nightwing being well written and
Yeah,
being kind of like this really cool upgraded character cuz like I said, I hate Nightwing as Batman Light.
yeah.
Um as cool as it is to kind of see him hanging out with the Teen Titans or the Titans, I'd take it to leave it. But him in this role that he's been
Yeah.
is just fantastic. And yeah,
There's
I'm
there's a,
down
there's
for
a
it.
level of pride that goes with it when it's like when you get to see somebody like when you get to see like your kid brother or something just crushing it. Like my little brother right now is out of college and he's got a seasonal job doing something he loves at an animal rescue up in northeastern Ohio, and it's like to see how far this kid has come from being the little kid that just has a billion stuffed animals because he loves animals so much. Which when he ended up getting head lice, what made for a very bad night. But
Oof.
yeah, because you got to get rid of all those stuffed animals. Because yeah, so
Mm, no,
so
you don't.
there's well, we did.
Oh, okay.
It was it's a longer story. Um, so to see like Nightwing is growing up when I was a kid, like Nightwing was the comic I collected the most. Nightwing was my dude. And because that 90s run of Nightwing comics was good stuff,
Yes, yes.
especially during the Cataclysm when like Gotham and Bloodhaven got decimated. Ooh, that was good
He,
stuff.
he goes to
Ooh,
the jail and gets trapped.
ooh, good stuff. Um, but Nightwing has kind of the writing on Nightwing has suffered in recent years. For the longest time there was no Nightwing. There just
Yeah.
wasn't a Nightwing, and for, like you said, to hit that sweet spot of like he's Batman adjacent, but he's not Batman light. He's part of the Bat family, but not reliant on the Bat family. Like he is very much his own character, his own hero. He's not just the former Robin. He is an established hero, like
Yes.
Superman, like
Yes.
Batman, like Flash, Green Lantern. He is a person who commands respect from the DC universe at large, be they veterans or newbie titans. People, Nightwing is this figurehead in the universe of DC Comics, and it's about goddamn time.
Yes. Yes. Now we just need to get him in some good movies and content so people recognize him for the great
Yes,
hero he needs to be.
because the less said about Titans, the better.
That too.
I know people love the show. It ran for 4 seasons, so I can't be 100% wrong. Not a fan. Tried, not a fan.
No.
It is what it is. So here's hoping. James Gunn said the Bat family is coming. He said that it's coming. We know Damian Wayne is in the next Batman movie. Nightwing's coming, and
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really truly can't wait, because the fact that it is 2023 and the only live action Nightwing we have had has been Titans, and for all intents and purposes,
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell and Batman and Robin. That's it, and
Yeah.
that's insane. That's insane. Blue Beetle is getting a movie before Nightwing, and I love Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's getting a movie before Nightwing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say it is. My biggest question mark of the whole Bat family that James Gunn is doing is the only reason you start with Damian Wayne is because you're going to have Nightwing.
Yeah,
but how many of those Robins in between are we going to get?
That's a good question, and because honest, and here's what I'm going to say to people right now, which is, if you love all the Robins, that's great. Temper your expectations, because you can't have every fucking Robin. Okay, you just can't. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
If I was a writer on this and I was trying to keep it balanced, I would say you have Nightwing, and you have Jason Todd, and you have Tim Drake, and that's it. You don't need Stephanie Brown. You don't need Carrie Kelly. Stephanie Brown's not, but it just, keep it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. You can always introduce stuff later on.
Yeah. See, I'd be even surprised if they did Jason Todd and Tim Drake, because my thing with Jason Todd is, without the entire journey of him as Red Hood, it makes no sense.
Oh, I 100%. The only reason you do Jason Todd is to do Red Hood. And Tim Drake, I know Tim Drake has a lot of fans, and I like Tim Drake just fine. I think Tim Drake is a good Robin. Tim Drake was Robin for me more than Dick Grayson was when I was reading comics. When I was reading comics, Tim Drake was Robin, Dick Grayson was Nightwing, Jason Todd was
dead,
whatever. And Damian Wayne didn't exist yet, nor should he have ever existed. But that's neither here nor there. I hate Damian Wayne so goddamn much. So for me, that's always been my thing is, Dick Grayson's Nightwing, Tim Drake is Robin. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But the fact of the matter is, and I have to believe Tom Taylor is part of James Gunn's writing team. He's got to be. He's just got to be. And if he's not, he needs to be. Especially if he's going to start doing Bat Family stuff and he wants to get Nightwing involved. Get Tom Taylor in there, man. You already got Grant Morrison. He's handling your Batman. Get Tom Taylor in there.
I'm sure when it comes to that, he'll be there for sure.
I really hope so. I really do. I just want to spend 5 minutes of fly on the wall in that writer's room. Just oh man, that would be great.
Yes.
So if you get a chance, all the first 3 volumes, volume 4 is not the collected volume 4 is not available yet, at the time that we're recording this. Volumes 1 through 3 are available on Amazon. That's where I got them. You can get them wherever you can get them, honestly. If you just want to keep it easy, just get them. And but please do. Cannot recommend Nightwing, written by Tom Taylor, enough. We've read a lot of comics for this show. I've read a lot of comics in my life. Batman the Cult, loved it. Arkham Asylum, hated it. Mr. Miracle, loved it.
Last Arkham, you like
Last Arkham, really liked Last Arkham. I think this is my favorite thing I've read so far for this show specifically. This was so good. And again, like, I'm someone who's already a fan of Tom Taylor. You know what this makes me want to go reread the Injustice comics now, because I'm so like in this world of loving Tom Taylor's writing. It's like, because he did some cool stuff with Nightwing in those Injustice comics too. So this is kind of me going, I think I might go reread Injustice next.
Doesn't he become Deadman?
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's cool. It's cool. It was an idea where I was like, never saw that coming. Never in a million years. But it makes sense with how they work it. Because you needed Nightwing to die. Was the bummer. I knew Nightwing was gonna die from playing the game, because he's already dead in the game. Because that's what drives the rift between Batman and Damian, is because Damian's the one that kills him.
Gotcha.
Completely by accident, but he kills him nonetheless.
Was it though? Because he's maybe intentional, because Damian's a prick, but we don't have to get into that right now.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah. That moment is when made me go like, nope, I'm fine. I'm done with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, because year 3 of Injustice is all about the magic users, including Constantine, and I had to reckon with how that was going to end, so that I could continue reading the last 2 years, because spoiler alert, all the magic users get eliminated basically. Constantine takes all the magic users and banishes them, including himself, in between dimensions to keep them out of the game, basically, to keep them out of the conflict. And it was one of those I had to reckon with myself of like, so Constantine is off the table forever. Okay, all right, deep breath. But it was also the most Constantine ending ever. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go reread Injustice after this. Tom Taylor, James Gunn, if he's not in your writer's room, get him in there, because this man knows how to write characters. This man knows how to, because that's what I took away from this the most. Was the story was great, the character development in this is what, the character exploration is what I took away from this. So big fan of Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing. Pick it up if you have not already. Please go read this. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, you have no taste. Is
correct.
I'm all for difference of opinion. If you don't like this run of Nightwing, stop reading comics. Go play sports. Go do something else. I don't care. But you don't deserve to read comics if you don't enjoy this run of Nightwing. You can hit me up if you don't like that I said that. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can also, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of We Are the Batman. If you want to hang out with us some more, follow us on Twitter at We Are the Batman. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Mike Shea.
You can find me at Mr. J Ninja.
That is going to do it for this week's episode of We Are the Batman. We will see you again next time. Same bat podcast channel.
Bye-bye.